You've probably heard of guys like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, or say your Galileo, your Copernicus, them types. Did you know that their grand works weren't funded by the governments of their respective nations? That back in the day, countries in medieval Europe weren't so much about funding artists and inventors to do their own thing. Now, cats like Michelangelo and Leo da Vinci, they were having to hit up rich people who could fund them to basically pay their bills and get food so they could paint or draw or write or craft stuff. Old school system called patronage, and that's kind of fallen off the map in popular parlance as a thing, as far as I can see, for the modern day 20th century, 21st century crowd. Don't know many guys that or gals that ever talked about finding a patron. It was either, work a day job and do your thing until you can do your thing well enough to make money, or maybe get a grant or some kind of sweet contract, get signed to a record label. Patreon is, of course, the 21st century digital modern equivalent to what guys like Leonardo da Vinci were doing, except instead of having to go beg one or two really wealthy dudes to fund me who might want to wrap a whole lot of different strings around my fingers, I can ask hundreds, if not thousands, or even millions or billions of people across the globe to pitch just a little bit. Buck or two here or there, a 10 spot, to help me be able to create works of art for others to enjoy. My name is Gregory Basor. I am a writer who would like to write for a living instead of working a day job and hoping that I'll someday hit big or get lucky if I can squeeze enough time, cut enough time out of a day. I have been paid for writing before, most notably from toplessrobot.com. Not as dirty as the name sounds, but more bizarre than it might suggest. It's not a porn site, in other words. It's a nerd news humor blog that is a really fun place, and I've been paid handily for the various list articles I've written over the last couple of years. So I'm wanting to increase being able to do that, but also to transition into writing screenplays and novels. I've been writing a novel on Twitter for the past 4 years running, maybe 5 or closer to 5 at this point. And it's something where I'd like to be able to spend more time working on that, or a screenplay about a grandfather-grandson vampire hunting duo, kind of a supernatural action comedy sort of thing that I've been working on. I also want to be a writer for video games. And a dear friend of mine and I, we've been working on a video game that came from a conversation about zombies. I'm sick of zombie apocalypse stuff. It bores me. And I want to see a new apocalypse. We started rolling around what could be an idea for a new apocalypse. Something that hasn't been run into the ground yet. Not that we'll invent something new, because there's really nothing new under the sun except for individuals. But something that hasn't been so overdone that everybody is kind of like, yeah, well, there's already these 3 things I enjoy that do that exact same thing. So we're working on a video game concept that's a new kind of apocalypse, and my major job is writing. I'd like to be able to get paid to do that and to also make humor videos on YouTube, which I do once in a rare while. Lately, most of them have involved cooking, bachelor cooking, as a friend calls it, just finding oddball ingredients to kind of go together. I do it experimentally, just as a hobby, and sometimes the results are absolutely awful, sometimes kind of good. But I would like to be able to do this stuff and still pay my rent, still be able to get my bills taken care of, still be able to go out to a movie or take a friend out to dinner once in a while. I'd like to be able to do these things. And if you can spare $5 a month to help me out, that would be absolutely great. And if I manage to exceed my goal, which is $1,500 a month, is what I'm shooting for. Anything past that, 50% of that I will put back into the pool of doing good things for other people. Not all of it will go to Patreon, although some of it will, but other parts of the excess that I can get past my monthly goal will go to helping people here in my community of Eugene, Oregon, whether it's donating to a food bank or a canned food drive or just helping people out when I can in some small way. I want to be able to give back to my community. So that's what I'm asking. Thank you for your time.